Hey, fellow skeptics, Lester the Skeptic Tank here, following up on my rant about internal versus external martial arts, because I touched upon Newtonian physics, body mechanics, and this notion or idea slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and how this tension or this adversarial relationship between the two types or styles of martial arts is a false dichotomy. And I know some of you might have seen my initial video about the straight lead from the art of Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do. So I'm going to try to demonstrate what I mean by what can I take from internal martial arts, carry that into external martial arts, and why the two actually feed off each other. Because I did say something to the effect Tai Chi does have applicability, it just takes longer to see that and work it out. External arts, and I want to say right away, like, for as comedic as Karate Kid can come off, there are nuggets. Particularly, I think throughout I would say the OG Karate Kid. I guess I'll throw in the next Karate Kid as well as part of that canon. Sorry, I don't think the Jaden Smith Karate Kid is canon. That's neither here nor there. But it was reinforced that karate here, not out here. So even Mr. Miyagi kind of debunks this dichotomy. So, as I was saying, doing things slow, especially whether we're talking in terms of shadow boxing or kata, working on your breathing and your mechanics. And I know I talked about power generation. And I'm sorry I lost my train of thought when I discussed that JKD brings out or pays homage to this idea of proper power generation, or the types of power generation. There's vertical, horizontal, and rotational. And how, for the most part, you need all three. And they need to be synced up properly in order to promote power, generate power in a punch. In the case of striking arts, punch, kick. In the grappling, there is a way to generate a powerful takedown, a powerful lock. It just expresses the same mindset or principle. So talking about going slow, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So I'll take the mid-range or close range, depending on how you want to look at it, because of the way I'm standing. So just real quick, if I stood like this would be considered long range in the JKD world. Okay? Because lead hand is in front, longest weapon nearest target. But here, I'm a little bit more square. And so I'm going to demonstrate real quick the JKD corkscrew. I guess I'll start from the long range position. Normally I don't play with this part, given what I'm training now. I don't emphasize this part enough. I play around with it, to be honest. It's fun to play around with tools and so forth. So from a longer range, it's going to be more evident. The way you would do it in the JKD mind or world is because of the focus of non-telegraphic movement. We always talk about hand leading the motion, hand before foot. In long range mentality, it would be moving, the hand leads the motion. Okay? Then I would use a footwork. So a step, doesn't matter, but ideally it would be a push-off. So this moves, then I do footwork, and then by the time I get there, the hip rotation would come in. The hip rotation is going to be important because it's going to tie in the body alignment. Or in all the time I've trained the art of JKD, we talked about hip and shoulder alignment, creating the strongest alignment for the human body. Okay? So, but seeking all of that through, it is a fine motor movement, and it does take considerable time to get down. Maybe even just 90% proficiency, let alone trying to get 100% proficiency. Because hand leading the motion is not the most humanly natural movement. So having to get used to the hand, starting things, moving, getting that step in, whether we're talking about a simple step, and I'm sorry, can't really depict my footwork, but the idea is hand leads, I step, and then I get my hip rotation in, using the long range stance. Now, trying to demonstrate it with that, then again, my hip and shoulder are more or less already in alignment. So the rotation necessary isn't going to be as great as, say, starting from here, getting that alignment in there. My alignment's kind of already there, so I just only need to rotate as much. So from here, or even from a rear tool perspective, I still got to rotate my hip a little bit to get that rotation in there. But still, hand leads the motion. I step, whether I step outside to open that up, and then get that in there. Again, ideally, hand, or if you're in a more mid-range or close range, hand leading the motion to start isn't going to be as necessary as crucial, because you would be trading off between efficiency and overall effectiveness. You could be super efficient, but you would lose effectiveness in terms of power. The main thing you adhere to in hand before foot is, especially in mid or close, the hand still gotta land before my feet do. Now, that presumes that you're going to be doing a push-off where you're kind of, a lot of people critiqued me for hopping, but there is a vertical component to power generation. Given what I'm training now, there's a time and place for that because of the paradigm I've undergone. But in a picture-perfect world, if you want to put your power into it, your footwork's going to be a little vertical in nature where you're just a little bit off the ground. But the key thing is, in close or mid-range, the hand is going to land before your weight dissipates into the ground. And again, because I'm more like this, my hip and shoulder are already in alignment, so I don't need to rotate as much. But there's still that component where I'm going forward and I'm rotating, and my vertical comes in when I push off, and my hand lands before my feet do, or my foot does. Again, syncing those three types of power. Now, going back to that slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If I really wanted to break it down, start a few reps. I go slow, slow, and make sure I focus on my breathing as I exhale out. And there's debate about breathing out through your mouth. It depends on what you're doing. If you're comfortable with going nose in, mouth out, cool. If you're used to nose in, nose out, cool. But the key thing is inhale, exhale as you, and you'd work that slowly. If you want to treat it like a Tai Chi practitioner, I don't know if you got to go, but it's the idea that you ingrain getting the right mechanic in there. Even for something as gross motor as this, you still got to get the right body feel. Now, fine versus gross, it's going to take less time to get a gross motor movement down versus a fine. This is considered a fine because I'm trying to link up my hand movement, feet, and then my hip rotation with what little I am, given I'm getting a little bit more square as I get closer to my target. I don't like using the term opponent because I'm trying to, the paradigm I'm working through nowadays is less dueling. There's a time and place for doing that. But again, step, rotate quick. But get, sink in the breathing. Inhale, exhale. Slow, feet, hip. So, just simple as that. Whether we're talking throwing your rear, where I got to bring that out I won't have to bring it out if I'm coming from here. I have to really open up. But since I'm here, I don't have to open quite as much. But still the same follows. Again, if I want to do that Tai Chi treatment, I just go. So there you have it. Using the stuff from internal arts. Slow. Again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has what they call flow roll or slow roll. I don't know if that's two different drills. It's been a while since I've done that, but it's just the idea. It's non-competitive, but you get that so you can see things a little bit more easily. Because when things start off as super fast, you're frantically, psychologically speaking, you're going frantically about things. Not sure where to go. So that's why doing things slow, deliberate, and one of my favorite acronyms I got from one of my jiu-jitsu coaches is PSS. Precision, speed, stress. Got to get that precision down, then you add the speed, then you add the stress. Everyone gets to their P in different number of reps. All right, fellow skeptics, thank you again. Till the next video, peace out, and I'll catch you on the other side.